Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, the Chevrolet Volt, at least the current generation of the Chevrolet Volt that we're going to talk about for a wee bit. We've talked about the brand new Volt in shows past, but if you still like the styling and the way the last generation Volt, or I guess the current generation before the head of the new one, you want to get your hands on one, well, you better get to your Chevrolet dealership quick, because the last ever Volt to roll off the assembly line rolled off just a handful of days ago for the taping of this program. So you better get down to your GM dealership really fast. Another end of an era, the 5th generation Chevrolet Camaro has a final date, as November 20th of 2015, the last of this generation, the 5th generation of the Camaro, will be built in its plant as well. So you got a little bit more time if you really got a hankering for this generation of Camaro. Another sad situation for the folks over at Chevrolet. Remember this concept? This was shown at the Detroit Motor Show a couple of 3 years ago, and this was kind of a interesting little project. 2-liter normally aspirated, 4-cylinder, rear-wheel drive, manual transmissions. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. General Motors was looking at seeing what the interest was going to be in them building a Scion FRS, a Toyota GT86, or a Subaru BRZ competitor would be all about. Especially when those cars first started selling, and they were selling like hotcakes. Well, now, since that has cooled down, Mark Royce, one of the heads of General Motors, has now said that officially this deal is dead, because it long rumored that they were going to build this car or something real close to this thing. I absolutely adore this machine. I think it's gorgeous, but sadly it will never see the light of day, as April of 2015 they had their last meeting and decided to kill the project altogether. So, a little bit of sad news. And so you thought we were going to talk only about Chevrolet today? No, we're going to talk about BMW too, as they took off the wraps of the brand new BMW 3.0 CSL. Now this is a little bit of an homage to the 70s 3.0 CSL. That particular machine was made super lightweight with extensive use of aluminum and with all plastic windows, or plexiglass windows if you will. This particular machine, it's high-tech. A lot of use of high-end carbon fiber stuff, which they've learned through their extensive work in their iVehicle program. Cool piece of kit. The sucker looks absolutely stunning, but it is just a concept piece. We don't even know what's going to power this. There's only just a rumor that it's going to have a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder that's going to have some sort of hybrid setup. Also, maybe some forced induction with it as well. We'll just have to wait and see if BMW ever releases this. But again, it's full-on concept, because it's got carbon fiber seats, and the steering wheel looks like something out of, well, you might remember the Knight 2000. Yes, the old Knight Rider car. That's what the steering wheel looks like in this particular machine. Gorgeous on the outside, though. I would really love to see this thing go into production, but chances are it probably won't. And today was the actual Indianapolis 500, and we've talked a lot about it in the upcoming to this particular day. The biggest motorsports day on the calendar. My day started at 5 a.m. this morning when I was up to watch the last power stage for the World Rally Championship in Portugal, which actually got locked out as far as the top 3 spots by Red Bull Volkswagen. Their 3 drivers, Lafferty, Ogier, and Mickelson, actually locked out the top 3 spots. And then that bizarre Formula One race, if you got to see the race in Monaco, what a bizarre race. Hamilton coming in with only a handful of laps left in the race to swap out tires, but the pit delta was like 20 to 22 seconds, and he only had a 19-second lead, which means he came out behind the next 2 drivers, his teammate and the leading Ferrari. Oddly enough, when he first came into the pits, Hamilton that is, I thought, oh, he's going to go in to actually guard his position, put on new tires, because those guys are going to put on new tires to try to come after him. But they didn't. And he should have known better, because one of the cars was his teammate. So, bizarre situation. Feel really bad for Lewis that he actually ended up losing that race. It was just bizarre to beat all of Bizarre for a Monaco Grand Prix. Now let's get back to the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500, and it was a barn burner, but it was also quite a dangerous race. Handful of wrecks sent one driver who we haven't heard official stuff about as of yet, who had a foot injury in one of the crashes. A pair of crew members were actually injured in a scuffle where a car got into them inside of the pits. One of those fellows went to hospital. Haven't heard official word on how he is doing, but our prayers go out to those folks as they're starting the healing process after the savage incidents that they were involved in. But when it came to the last several laps, it was a barn burner with the top three cars trading up laps like crazy. It was a fantastic finish, and this is the fella to take the whole thing. Juan Pablo Montoya, who sets a record, because this particular picture of him winning the Indianapolis 500 was the first time he won the 500. 15 years ago. This was 2000s, or it was 2000, 2001, he won the Indianapolis 500. And yeah, he hasn't raced an IndyCar pretty much ever since, because he went off to Formula One, had an amazing career, won a ton in IndyCar, went over to Formula One, won races over there. In fact, I think he won the Monaco Grand Prix as well. Went to NASCAR, won some races over there, then came back to IndyCar to take the big prize the day of the taping of this program. And on a personal note, my motorsports calendar is not done yet. The Charlotte race, NASCAR race, is going on right now. I'll watch a little bit more of that. And then I got drag racing from Topeka, Kansas, going to be coming on later tonight. So I'm not going to be in bed for a while. But fun weekend. This is the Memorial Day weekend. Monday is a holiday here in the United States. If you're not from the States, you probably don't celebrate this particular holiday, but it's to celebrate the people who have given their ultimate sacrifice, giving their lives, our U.S. men and women in the military who've given their lives in the protection of freedom here in the United States. And we salute those folks who paid the ultimate price, especially the folks that they have left behind, and they are still suffering today. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.